Hey gang, Mark here from the Mahoning Drive-In Theater in Lehighton, Pennsylvania, letting you know what is playing this week at the Mahoning Drive-In Theater in Lehighton, Pennsylvania. Well, it is week 2 of our 77th season, and boy, do we have an eclectic and fun and kind of very drive-in weekend for you. On Thursday night, we have the return of our Thursday Thread Up series with a personal favorite film of mine. This is Jane Fonda in 1968's Barbarella. This is based on a French series of grown-up comic books. Crazy, sexy, saucy, wild, wacky, campy sci-fi from director Roger Vadim, co-starring John Philip Law as the blind angel with an amazing soundtrack by Charles Fox. This is one of the great 60s movies. This is one of the great sci-fi movies. It's a comic book movie. It's, if you know the 1980 Flash Gordon or the 60s Danger Diabolic film, this really feels aesthetically like those films, shot on giant sound stages in Italy, and you really don't want to miss Barbarella on the big screen, especially now that we've upgraded the projection and the image looks even better than it ever has before. This is a very colorful, very wild film, one night only this Thursday. Friday and Saturday, it's a 2-night event. It is King of Horror. This is 2 nights of film adaptations of Stephen King films, and boy, are we hitting you with some classics. On Friday night, we have Misery and The Shining. That movie any good? Misery, the film about the obsessed superfan who kidnaps, I'm not going to tell you the whole story, who kidnaps the favorite author of hers, and it is an insanely intense, dark comedy, the movie that put Kathy Bates on the map, really, and James Caan as the hobbled author, as it were. You also got some other familiar faces in there. And then after that is The Shining. I don't know how much there is to say about The Shining. If you haven't seen The Shining, oh boy, come and see The Shining for the first time on that screen, especially since it's probably going to be slightly cool out by the time that film runs, and that really kind of adds to the flavor. Shelley Duvall, Jack Nicholson, and most importantly, perhaps Scatman Crothers star in a film about a descent into madness with a supernatural tinge. It's an uber classic. Saturday night, we have The Dead Zone, always one of my personal favorite Stephen King adaptations because it's one of the films that most closely adheres to the book, directed by some guy named David Cronenberg with some guy named Christopher Walken in it, and a lot of other, like I like to say, Martin Sheen playing a president really unlike the president that he plays on West Wing, and a classic film about a man who gets in a car accident and comes back with psychic powers and sees some very dark things in the future that he tries to prevent, followed by Pet Sematary, the original one. As we like to say at the Mahoning, the good one. We have Pet Sematary, which is about sometimes dead is better. Sometimes you don't want to cross certain lines of dark morality. We have a man who moves his young family to the wilds of Maine that's next to a very busy highway, and unfortunately things go bad. He tries to make things good, and things get even worse. Featuring Fred Gwynne in, if not his last role, one of his last roles, Dale Midkiff, Denise Crosby, and young Miko Hughes, unforgettable in this film as Gage. It was a film I saw in the theater and was deeply disturbing when it came out, and it still packs a punch. So that is Friday and Saturday, King of Horror. If it does well, we'll do more of these because we know there's a lot of Stephen King movies out there. And then Sunday is for a very specific crowd, and if you know this film, you do not want to miss this film. This is our Indie Darlings series, kicking off with Alejandro Jodorowsky's El Topo. This has been described as an acid western. This was a film, I believe, Spanish film that is it is subtitled, but there's very minimal dialogue in this film, and it is a trip, as the youth say. It is an odyssey of the mind and exploring humanity and morality and religion and all sorts of things in the desert. Once seen, you will never forget El Topo. We are working with the folks at ABCO who have the rights to El Topo. They've given us some really cool things for the raffle, and we're going to be doing more with ABCO as the season goes along. But the last time we showed this, it was a big hit. You really don't want to miss it. What better way to end your week, to say farewell to the weekend, and oh boy, here comes Monday, than to get into El Topo. So that is one night only on Sunday. For any more information about any of these shows, please go to mahoningdit.com, where you can buy your tickets and get your information and all that. We cannot wait to see you at the drive-in.